What's going on, fellow engineers? In this video, I'm going to walk through the script that I have that I use to clean up the log directory on my Ubuntu-based systems. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I am logged in on my media server. And if you're not familiar with Ubuntu, there are a number of services that run that create log files. All of those log files are placed into the var/log directory. And so, depending on what you have installed on your system, this directory will look different. I also have some of the scripts that I have on the system recording to this particular directory. So, for instance, you see here I have um, a HC home run that records Jeopardy every day, and so I have it writing to this particular directory as well. And then other things in here like Apache has its own directory because of the fact Apache creates several processes, so it has a standard out and there's a standard error. Just to show you what that looks like. So you have a access log, basically what files are being pulled or being requested, and then you have the error log, basically any issues that Apache is having displaying or rendering any of the content that has been requested. So if you ever have any issues with any of the things like sending emails or Apache or something like that nature, come to this directory and then open the respective file for that particular item. As you also see here, I have this vbox-setup log. This is for the virtual machines that are installed on this particular system. So all of your logging is in here, and even for the apt-get, which is also known as the package manager, there's a log for it in this directory. And as you see, there are several log files here, history and term. And so if you want to have a ID, like I have a particular ID that runs these cron jobs, and those cron jobs right to this directory, that ID has to be added to the syslog user group. And so actually it should be groups. And so here it is, syslog, one word, all lowercase. And you just add that ID and it will be able to write to this directory. Otherwise, in order to be able to write to this directory, you'll have to be the root user or run your process as a root user. And so what I've done to make sure that this directory stays clean is to write a shell script, and that shell script is executed via a cron job. So I'm going to show you that shell script and just walk you through how it works and how you can use this on your system. If you have an Ubuntu system, you can copy the shell script directly. A link to this script and all of the shell scripts that I use on my Ubuntu-based systems will be available down in the description below. So all you gotta do is go there and find the one that is named cleanlogdir.sh and copy it to your system, or you can copy the whole repository and use it. So the way this script works is that we're defining a delay. And so by default, I set my delay to 30 days. You may want to keep some of your logs longer than that. If you do, you can change this value to 60, 90, whatever the case may be. 30 days is sufficient for the stuff that I want it to keep. And so to eliminate any issues, I just have it checking to make sure that we are the root user. So checking the user ID, if it's equal to 0, then it can perform the steps in here. Otherwise, it will throw a message saying that you must be root to run this script. And that's to get around. I know I just mentioned about having the group role of syslog, but this is to get around that because some processes actually do write under their particular user group and whatnot. So root user has access to everything, as you may know if you're familiar with Linux. So this makes sure that everything is accessible, no questions asked. All right, so next is going to go to the log directory by running the cd command to that path. Then going to check the size of the log directory before actually doing any cleaning up. That way, you know how much if there's an issue that occurs, you can look at the size to see if something actually changed or not. And so I have it checking the size, and that'll print out. And then I have all the files that meet the criteria to be removed. And so what I'm doing is using the find command, which is this here, and this is again the full path to the find command on my system. You can, if you're just doing this in the terminal, you would just type find, but I like to put the full path in my scripts, just in case there's for whatever reason, something's not loaded or it does not know where to find a given executable. I just put the full path to that, and then there's no questions asked. So you run the find command, and you're finding in the var log directory all the files within the var log directory, and you're looking for the type of file, I guess it's kind of difficult to say, but you're looking for only files. You're not looking for directories. You're looking for files only, with a modified time of the last specified delay. And so in my case, delay, as I mentioned up here, is 30 days. And I want to, for each of those files that match that criteria, I want to execute the ls-al command and then pass in that file name that was found for each of these items. And that will list all of the directory contents that is older than 30 days. And then next line is you want to remove those files. So you're basically running the same command. The only difference is instead of running the ls as what you're executing, you're running the rm, and you're still giving it the file that you found. And then after you've done that for each one of those, then you're going to display the usage of the directory again, the disk usage, and then it'll exit out. And so what will that log file look like? Well, let me show you. So I have my log file. Actually, I can do vi here, var log clean log dir. All right, and so this is what it looks like. So I just made some updates to this script. So some of this in here is still kind of the old way of it doing it. So it's actually, originally it was checking the entire disk usage of the entire file system, but I've now changed it to only check just this directory because as you can see, it was 65 before it started and it was 65 after it started. But that's because, you know, this is a 100 gig, roughly 100 gig drive. So moving a couple of 100 megabytes really won't change the percentage of it. So it may look like nothing's changed, but in actuality it has. So this is the first part where it's checking the disk space. And then next comes listing all of the files that are older than 30 days that need to be removed. And so as you see, it's currently the end of April. So when it's processed, I have it set to run once per month. And so it removed everything that was at least 30 days. So pretty much everything from January and February was removed. And these are all the files with their full path to those files. And so between this last file here and the line here is where it removed everything that was above. And then the last part here is it printing out the disk usage after the cleanup. And so, like I say, I made some adjustments to the script, so it won't display the full disk usage, just only the that particular folder disk usage. So again, the link to this script is down in the description below. If you're running out of disk space or you're having low disk space messages showing up, you'll want to check. There are a number of things to check, one of which would be the log directory. So you can use this script to your advantage. And let me also show you how I have it set up with a cron job. So I'm actually do -L here. And so in the cron file, so I have it set with the attribute of @monthly, and so this will automatically take care of how frequently you're supposed to run. There's some systems support these attributes instead of having to specify like day, time, day of month and so forth, you can just do an at monthly. There's an at weekly. There is at reboot, at daily, and those are configured in another part of the system in the Etsy directory. So give this a try if you want to use it monthly. And there's another place where that is actually set at. So I may cover that in a future video of how to change those monthly, weekly, daily values for Crontab. But again, running this script monthly, just calling the script, and then all of the output is being written to the log directory to a log file, and the standard error is being merged into the standard output. And this last part here is a comment to make sure that I know what this is doing, you know, in case, because a lot of times you'll set something up, you'll forget what it is. So I usually put a comment in either above or after that particular command, so that in the future when I come in here, I know what this command is supposed to be doing. And so that's it for this particular video. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can drop a comment down in the comment section below. Also, if you have not already, please be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and check out my website, thealmostengineer.com. So until next time, peace out.